Lesson 10.5, Video 3. As we mentioned with the midpoint formula, we have to ensure that we're being given two endpoints. So if we read this question carefully, it says to find the coordinates of the other endpoint given one endpoint and one midpoint. So to put this graphically, to understand what we're dealing with, if we have 4, -8, that would put us there. That's one coordinate. We have the midpoint at 10.6, or 10-6, which would be about here. If this is an endpoint and this is a midpoint, the other endpoint will be located out here somewhere, because this is the middle of our line that we would extend out to here somewhere. We don't know where that is, but that's a different kind of question, and we use our formula differently there. Now we know that the formula says that if we add x1 plus x2 and divide by 2, we would get the x value of the midpoint. And the same for the y. We would add y1 plus y2, we would divide it by 2, and we would get the y value of the midpoint. So if we understand that that's what's happening, we can use this formula to go backwards and state that we're given one coordinate and the midpoint. Okay, so this would be considered the first coordinate. So what do we know? Well, if we plug it in, we know that our x1 value is 4. We don't know what the second x value is, but if we added them up and divided by 2, we know that the answer would be 10, because that's the midpoint. So we can just solve this, and we get 4 plus x2 equals 20. Subtract 4 from both sides, and we get 16 for our coordinate out here, at least for the x. For the y, we do the same thing. We have a y value of our first endpoint at -8. We don't know the second y value, but if we divide by 2 after we add them up, we are supposed to get -6, because that's the y value of our midpoint. So multiply by 2, and we get -8 plus y squared equals -12. We add 8 to both sides. Oops, not squared, sorry. Sub 2 there. If we add 8 to both sides, we get -4. Now, does that sound like it makes sense? Well, if you look at that, and we go 16 out, so this one was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and down 4 would put us in that general area. My graph's not perfect, so definitely there's error there, but that would seem appropriate. So again, you have to see what they give you in order for you to use the formula properly. Given two endpoints, or given an endpoint and a midpoint, and then you would have to find the last endpoint. This ends Lesson 10.5, Video 3.